After a one-year absence because of COVID, the good folks at USIVO, or the United Staten Island Veterans Organization, are back as they host the annual Four Chaplains Award Ceremony here at Holy Rosary Church.
Welcome everybody to the annual Four Chaplains Legion of Honor ceremony here at this wonderful Holy Rosary Church. Thank you to Father Michael Martin. I'd like to welcome my way to come. I'll give you a little short story about the Four Chaplains. It was known as Torpedo Junction. The U-boat infested icy waters of the North Atlantic during World War II on February 3rd, 1943. The ship that left from Staten Island was an old coastal steamer, the Dorchester. It slowly making its way through the waters bound to Greenland. Most of the men were seasick and green with nausea because they were in submarine-infested waters. The captain directed the men, to keep the outer gear on and life jackets on at all times. Moving among them were four Army chaplains: George Fox, Methodist; Alexander Good, Jewish; Clark Poling, Dutch Reformed; John Washington, Roman Catholic. The chaplains talked and listened to the men, soothing apprehensions, offering encouragement, and sharing a joke. By their concern, they commanded me with the men, and when others made their presence, they brought solace. As an enemy submarine stalking the ship, undetected, fired a torpedo toward the ship's aging flank. The missile exploded in the boiler room, destroying the electric supply and releasing clouds of steam and ammonia gas. Many on board died instantly. Some were trapped below deck. Others were jolted from the bunks, stumbling their way to the decks of the strict vessel, taking on the water very rapidly. They actually sank in about 20 minutes. The four chaplains on board passed out all the necessary equipment to the men. All the life jackets that they were not wearing, when they were each told by the captain to do so. They gave their jackets, the life jackets, their coats and vests, and went down with the ship. So today we celebrate the four chaplains. Father Capitano Academy, present the colors. Pledge of allegiance.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
now for almost 20 years. My friend got me involved with this 20 years ago, Mr. William Riley, may he rest in peace. And he left me with it, and I'm glad he did. To recognize people who deserve it. What's good about this award is we don't make the decision. We put the recommendations in, and the decision comes from the chapter 4 chaplains in Philadelphia. And they're the ones who set up all the awards for us, and then we do the rest. But they make the decisions, we don't. So don't blame us if he wasn't chosen. Okay. God of our fathers and of our God, we thank you for the unity that the Dorchester chaplains, these 4 men of God, demonstrated in life and in death. Unity that is not uniformity. Unity that strengthens with each of us worthy, loyal, of faith and patience, practice. Unity that transcends all our differences and makes us one in loyalty to our country and our fellow men, and to you, O God. Grant us now your abiding presence, and may we remain faithful to the spirit of our 4 chaplains who have learned to live and serve together in death, not divided.
Let us pray. God of our fathers and our God, we thank you for the unity that the Dorchester chaplains, these 4 men of God, demonstrated in life and in death. Unity that is not uniformity. Unity that strengthens within each of us every worthy loyalty of faith and practice. Unity that transcends all our differences and makes us one in loyalty to our country and our fellow men, and to you, our God. Open our minds and hearts that we may all learn of the example of selfless service of these 4 chaplains, to the point of literally giving their lives for others. Grant us now your abiding presence, and may we always remain faithful to the spirit of these 4 men, the 4 chaplains, who having learned to live and serve together in death were not divided. We ask these things as we ask all things in thy most holy and gracious name. Amen.
Please be seated. Okay, now we'll begin with the awards. Joseph J. Giovanni Jr., please come up. Joseph was nominated by his father, Joseph J. Giovanni Sr., who passed away on Easter Sunday 3 weeks ago. May he rest in peace. He was a great man. He did a lot for Staten Island, and he picked a good candidate here, his son, who in his youth and adult life was a member of the Boy Scouts, earned the Arrow of Light, achieved the rank of Eagle Scout, the highest rank a boy could earn, participated in many service projects to help other boys earn this rank. My service project involved refurbishing the cemetery at St. John's Lutheran Church. Upon becoming an adult leader, I served as an assistant scoutmaster and committee member of the Boy Scout Troop 57, St. John's Lutheran Church, and 132 Holy Child Roman Catholic Church. I attend at St. Mary's Episcopal Church, where I serve as an usher and a vestry member, and as part of the feeding ministry, which involved collecting canned goods for the needy. The slogan that I created was one can make a difference presently. I serve on the altar as a lay Eucharistic minister. Presently, I am a member of the Disabled American Veterans Auxiliary and many different Republican organizations. I am a Kentucky Colonel and the NRA Horsemen's Association. He owns horses. I was fortunate to have two wonderful parents. My dad, Joseph Sr., and a twice recipient of the Military Order of Purple Heart, and my mother, who still works as a full-time registered nurse and still has time to look after my dad, our dog Remy, and me. They taught me to be a fair and honest person who was there when needed. James. Receiving an award from Assemblyman Tanusis, Michael Tanusis. He has an award for him. Okay. Thank you, Joseph. Okay.
These two gentlemen, Charles and Vincent, alias Jimmy Navarino, 70-year members of Benito Smith Post, American Legion in West in New Brighton. All programs sponsored the post, including the moving of the statue of G.I. Joe to Goodhue Park under their auspices. The Christmas party for Goodhue, they've been doing it for the past many, many years. His son Anthony is the very good supporter with his father in all those events. That's it. And oh, Jimmy. Hi, Uncle Jimmy.
Which Uncle Jim?
That's Uncle Jimmy. No, what? I don't forget.
Okay, thank you.
Pin Joe. I know Jimmy.
Yeah, we got a pin show. Okay. Al Klingle was nominated by James Brown, President of Fleet Reserve Association 226, and sit down. Al is a member of Union Board 3. He chairs the Parks and Recreation Environment Committee. Worked on capital projects associated with New York City parks. Active with church by serving as property and caring committee. He contributed many hours and days improving the church grounds and building. Which church was this? Anyway. He's a member of the American Legion. He does Christmas parties for the VA. Very many patriotic events he takes care of on the 4th of July, Flag Day, Memorial Day, and Veterans Day. This candidate is very deserving of the Chaplains Award for the 4 chaplains.
Yep.
There you go.
On a personal note, I'd like to again thank everyone for making me a member. I received this award several years ago, and it certainly does mean a lot to me, and also to my family, which has given service to our country. So coming back to Kathleen Gorman, Kathleen has been, for many years, a friend of mine for over 22 years. She's a person of great integrity, loyalty, and is full of Irish wit and humor. When we have our meetings, she's our Irish historian, and she does a history part. I mean, very well. She's a very dedicated historian. But we all sit on the edge of our seat waiting for the joke, because we never know what the joke's going to be. And so she really completes that section of our meeting, and we have a lot of joy and laughter when she does her presentation. So I have worked with Kathleen in many of the organizations that she's included in, and she has great generosity. She has a great spirit of generosity and a great willingness to do whatever is asked to her. She doesn't shrink. She doesn't shrink from anything, from work, as difficult as it may appear to me or to others. She has great fortitude, and she stands in there and completes it. So it gives me a great honor to do this. But before we get to that part, I'd just like to give a little history. I promised Jim I won't read 3 pages. Kathleen was born and raised in Park Slope, Brooklyn. She's the daughter of Margaret and Jim Brick. Kathleen is a devout Catholic who's very proud of her Irish heritage. She's an active member of the Ladies' Ancient Order of Hibernians and has consistently participated in a lot of our philanthropic work with the organization and has volunteered much of her time to the church over the last 40 decades. She is the mother of 5 children, Brian, Brendan, Mary, Margaret, Patrick, and I think her son Brian is in the back of the church, and he's a member of the fire department, and he's on duty, but he's standing here waiting. And Kathleen has shown such a great awareness of her community that her children have dedicated and shown themselves, because of her example, to be members of organizations, fire department, nursing, those that are contributing to our community and the safety and the welfare of our members here in Staten Island. And Brian has also part of Brooklyn in his jurisdiction today. So she's a parishioner of St. Clair's Roman Catholic Church for the past 48 years. She doesn't look like she's been there for 48 years, you know. She served as an officer of the parish's Mothers Club with her children when they were in grammar school, and participated in fundraising efforts at St. Joseph by the Sea High School, where she planned, naturally, the annual St. Patrick's Day Parade. An integral part of the planning committee also for the annual Eden 2 fundraiser. Mrs. Gorman also assists in the organization of the LAOH chapter yearly benefit, which has raised more than $20,000 for the medical bills of local family in need. She's a member of the Irish Cultural Center. She serves on committees for the Staten Island Irish Fair and the Staten Island St. Patrick's Day Parade, which we didn't really have a big one, but we must say we had a little one on Forest Avenue. So we still have continuity with that. And the big honor which was given to her, and which next year she was appointed the Grand Marshal. Unfortunately, it was a small parade, but next year we're going to wow them with Kathleen as our Grand Marshal at the St. Patrick's Day Parade in next year, 2022. So she's an active participation in the children's liturgy at her church, St. Clair's, teaches in the CCD program at St. Joseph, St. Thomas, and in her spare time, she likes to read, and she crochets, great crocheter, and spending time with our family. I think she has 5,000 grandchildren by now, because that's what it seems like, when we all get together. Great joy, great happiness in that family. So it's a great honor for me to be up here and to be a part of the presentation for Kathleen of the 4 Chaplains Awards today. Thank you. Thank you, Kathleen.
I have the honor of reading reading this. I will read the whole thing. But anyway, I'm here to, I nominated Father Michael Martin. I also had the honor of knowing Michael all his life. All his life. I've known him since he was a baby. And one thing that I do remember years ago, being in church and Michael being with his mother and father, he was about 2 years old. And I looked down the aisle and I said, oh God, all they have to do is put a cigar in his mouth and he looked just like his father. So he looked exactly like us at that moment. But anyway, I've known Michael since, Father Michael, I've known Michael since, like I said, since he was born, all through St. Thomas School, Monsignor Farrell High School, and Boy Scouts, and I'll just read what it says. Father Michael was born in Brooklyn to the late Gus and Eileen Martin. He was raised here in Staten Island, attended St. St. Thomas School in Pleasant Plains, and Monsignor Farrell High School. He holds a degree in philosophy and theology from Fordham University in the Bronx, a Master of Divinity from St. Joseph's Seminary in Yonkers, a Bachelor of Sacred Theology degree, magna cum laude from Pontifical University of St. Thomas Aquinas in Rome, and in canon law, from Catholic University of America in Washington, D.C. Father Michael was ordained to the priesthood by Cardinal John O'Connor in 1997 and served as parochial vicar at St. Francis of Rome Parish in the Bronx, Sacred Heart in Monroe, St. Anthony's in Nanuet. He also served as pastor of St. Joseph's Parish in Rosebank and currently here at Holy Rosary. In addition to his parish work, Father is also active in the field of canon law. He serves as professor of canon law at St. Joseph's Seminary, judicial vicar, chief judge of the Church's Tribunal of Appeals for the Province of New York and the Archdiocese of Military Services, USA. He currently is judge and defender of the bond of the Metropolitan Tribunal of the Archdiocese of New York. Father is also active in many different community organizations. He's currently National and New York State Chaplain to the BPO ELPS, National Chaplain to the Columbiettes, Chaplain of AOH Division 4, and the Sons of the American Legion, Watkin Kellett's Post, both on Staten Island. In addition, he was also National Chaplain of the Ladies' Ancient Order of Hibernians, which I'm sure was his favorite. Anyway, he's a member of the Knights of Columbus, Dollar Council in 1675, and 4th degree Governor Dongan Assembly, and the Knight of the Equestrian Order of the Holy Sepulchre of Jerusalem. Father served as the aide to the Grand Marshal of the New York City St. Patrick's Day Parade in 2014, was chaplain to the Staten Island Memorial Day Parade in 2019, and received the Service of the American Legion Award from the American Legion Richmond County in 2017. Father Michael is all around, and as I said, if you ever need him for anything, I'm sure you always, if anybody in need, he's there for everybody.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for inviting me here today. First, I want to say that here in the Staten Island community, we have faced challenge after challenge, from the September 11th attacks, where so many of our police officers and firefighters and residents perished, to then Hurricane Sandy, where this community was absolutely ravaged, and now this past year with the COVID-19 pandemic, which has basically taken over the world and affected our community. So I'm happy to be here today to give these certificate of merits, and I am also happy that I am able to give an official New York State citation to my good friend, Father Michael, for leading this community through these challenges, his continued support, and his continued support for the veterans. So thank you so much for having me here today. God bless you, and everyone stay safe. Thank you.
Joe Coppola, would you please come up? Joe Coppola is married to Bonnie Coppola. They have 3 children, Laura, Deborah, and Michael. Oh, that I can't take on. 8 grandchildren, Christian, and all their names. And they have 2 great-grandchildren. God bless them. Joel was in the United States Army in June of 1959. He served 3 years. He worked for 43 years in the motion picture business. 20 years as director of outreach for Staten Island Community Television. Anytime you needed something done, Joel was there for us. It gives me great pleasure to have him pinned by the Four Chaplains Association.
I don't want to say much, but I want to congratulate all the honorees tonight. It was wonderful. And I want everyone to know that every night when we go to bed, I pray that all America comes together and be one. I love my country so much. And the greatest thing on earth was serving my 3 years in the United States Army. God bless America.
Good morning. Good morning. Everybody sleep?
No. Good morning.
Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor. Oh, neighbor.
Neighbor.
I'm glad there's somebody else been looking in the room besides me. And now give me a little judgment. Stephanie, there's so much, but her bio was short, but I'm going to cut it down a little bit more. That she's the type of person here on Staten Island when you came to her, whether you met her on the road or in church or in shopping, if you had a problem, she would remember the next day and call you back and say, we're going to take care of it. Friends like this, few and far between. Stephanie was born in Brooklyn. A major in American history, an Afro-American history. Graduated in 1971.
Follow instructions.
All right. Stephanie, break down. Too blessed to be stressed. Most people that know me, that's the way I greet you. We all need to be thankful, children of God, that we got up this morning. There's no tubes here and there. We're not battling for food. Staten Island is a beautiful place. And Stephanie has been that angel in her tenure to come around and say, I know somebody that can help you. And Stephanie said, I could go on, like I said, it's 4 or 5 pages, but I want to cut it short. And I want to say, Miss Stephanie.
Good afternoon. What a wonderful, wonderful thing. I am so honored and so amazed still that I was even asked for this. I want to thank Leon Wallace and the 369 Veterans Association. And I certainly want to thank the wonderful Jimmy Haynes and the work that he's done forever. And yes, Lord Jesus, thank you. Yes. And yes, my good friend Steve Gross, who's always around to help whenever you need him. I thank you. I love my veterans. I came up in a family of veterans. So working with you and working in the community is just warms my heart. So I'm just so pleased and thankful that you thought of me. And again, anything I can do, he's got my number.
This event, while it highlights the heroic and unselfish spirit of the Four Chaplains, that today we are honoring people who have that same spirit. And so I want to first say to all of the veterans in the room, thank you for your dedication and your service to this country. You truly are the backbone of this country, and it is because of you that we are still the greatest country in the world. For recognizing the contributions of the veterans and making sure that they are taken care of in the spirit and at the same level as they should be. that's commiserate with the sacrifices that they made. So I want to thank you, SIVO, for all of your contributions to veterans in Staten Island. I want to especially thank Jimmy Haynes for his commitment to our veterans and for recognizing in Stephanie Chabot that same spirit that we celebrate in our veterans. Jimmy Haynes has been dedicated to the well-being of our veterans, and Stephanie Chabot has also. I want to acknowledge the 369 Veterans Association, who for a very long time, my sister was a part of, my sister was a veteran, and they have a long and storied history of historic action, earning them the title of the Harlem Hellfighters and fighting to preserve freedoms for Americans, some freedoms that they were denied at that time. I want to thank Leon Bowles for his insightfulness, and realizing that we needed to bring all of our veterans together because all of them are suffering under the same issues as each other. I also wanted to thank the foundation, which is based in Philadelphia, who doesn't know any of these individuals that we honored here today personally, but they recognize how important they are to our families, to our communities, and the service that they've rendered. So I am really happy that the foundation found them worthy. I want to recognize Forrest Ballard and Stephanie Chabot because they really are worthy of the Fort Chaplains Award. I know Stephanie Chabot. She's worked with me for 12 years. Stephanie exemplifies and is the embodiment of the chaplains. They gave their all that night, including their life. Stephanie embodies that same quality. She will give you everything, the shirt over her back. And she has a special place in her heart for the veterans. Stephanie has a long history of this, coming from a family of veterans, a Caribbean American family, and she attended Catholic elementary school and public high school at Erasmus Hall. She went to Hunter College and transferred to Yale College in 1969. She was in the very first class that included women undergraduates at Yale University. And they just celebrated their 50th anniversary. Stephanie has always had a love for veterans and those who have served their country. Her parents were both in the military, and she has followed in their footsteps in terms of giving back to the community. And so Stephanie is a member not only of my staff, but she's an executive board member of the the NAACP, the executive board of the Richmond County Democratic Committee. She is an original and founding member of Mothers Against Senseless Killing and the secretary of the Political Action Club, as well as numerous others. I am really thankful today that others recognize the value, the commitment, and the dedication that Stephanie Chabot has for this community. And I thank you all today. And I want to thank all of our leaders.
Forrest Ballard. That's my brother from another mother. I have a lot of brothers from another mother because this is the only guy I know that when somebody's in need, without even consulting his wife, to take some food out the refrigerator and say, let's take it to that family. That's the type of friend Forrest Ballard is. He's an elder in his church. He's also a chaplain. And served 17 years with them in the National Guard. activated to go to Desert Storm, but they weren't taking over for us, so we're back here. I recommend Mr. Forrest Ballard for Chaplains Honor Award is display positive thinking, speaking the word, and speaking positive, fulfilled faith words. Mr. Ballard simulates the interest in individuals in keeping and inspiring youth, adults, while working in the community and our nation. The other program has been part of the community includes literacy, voter registration, and I got a whole bunch of pages, but that's, I don't mean my couple of brothers short because he's taller than me. But I just wanted to let you know that kids that have questions about math, electronics, we used to run the rat rig out in the field when we got activated to go to Desert Storm. And the rat rig is where he controls all the 27 vehicles. And so I want you to go over the Forest Ballard.
I would just like to say good morning to everyone, family of the old vets, Staten Island. I just have a few things on my mind to leave you with. 4 chaplains. What does that mean to you? February 3rd, 1943, a troop trip to Dorchester with 900 aboard were torpedoed 100 miles south of Greenland. Amazing. That was 7 months old. Wow. And then we have the 4 chaplains, George L. Fox, Methodist minister, Alexander V. Good, Jewish rabbi, Clark V. Poling, Dutch Reformed minister, John P. Boston, Catholic priest. I'll be just another minute. It's such a great honor, also a challenge. 1 John 3:16. By this we know what love is. Jesus laid his life down for us. We ought to lay our life down for our brothers and sisters, and I leave you with that. Amen.
I'm inducting Elizabeth Philpott. Liz has always been there to step up and help someone in need. Whether you are a friend or a stranger, it made no difference. As a youth, Liz served on the local Bowling Association's Youth Leader Board. As an adult, she went on to become an advisor and a mentor. 17 years ago, when the Staten Island USBC held its first annual Bowling Against Breast Cancer Bowl-a-thon, now Rap Country Lanes and Country Pro Shop, Liz came forward as one of our youngest volunteers. It was a match made in heaven, and Liz is still as passionate as day one. She spearheaded our Survivor Recognition Ceremony, the highlight of our event. She has also been the brainchild behind our Flock and Flamingos campaign, which has raised over $40,000 in 3 years. Storm Sandy hit, Liz helped lead Country Pro Shop and Rap's Country Lanes effort to help our community get back to its feet, turning the bowling center and the Pro Shop into a place where you can find supplies, clothes, food, and information. Liz helped gather supplies, making deliveries, answering phone calls, whatever was needed to get done. In addition to these major accomplishments, Liz is always there to help our local associations with fundraisings and awards or a helping hand. Ladies and gentlemen, Elizabeth Philpott.
Okay, I'm going to keep this short. I just wanted to thank Chris for nominating me. He is no stranger to doing tons of things for the community. I wouldn't be who I am today without my mother and my family who supports every crazy, silly decision we come up with. My partner, who is out there flocking those flamingos with me, busting our butts, doing everything we can to raise that $40,000. My boyfriend Ashton, who jumps in to help us after his long hours at work. And my sister, who comes up with the crazy last-minute ideas that help us push through. And all the support of the associations and the staff and everything that we do. It's just one big happy family. Thank you.
My next person I nominate for this is Melissa Haynes. Melissa Youngs, aka Melissa Youngs Haynes, came to visit in 1979, liked it so much she decided to stay a while. During Melissa's formative years, she could always find her at the apron strings of her grandmother Lucy or her grandmother Nana Rose, learning how to bake or cook. If not, there you could find her hanging out with her mother Sally, helping her raise her twins, brothers, and sister Michael and Nicole. Melissa, Mel, Liz, Mimi, Mary Sunshine, or whatever name you made up to call her. She would answer with a brilliant smile. Melissa got a nickname on 7/7/10, Auntie Mimi, but the best one came on 10/14/11 when she got the greatest name of them all, Mom or Mommy. Since becoming the latest Haynes, Melissa has totally gotten herself involved with numerous organizations as the Alba House, the Knights of Columbus, the Hibernians, the Staten Island St. Patrick's Day Parade, food kitchens, food pantries, car shows for Newdorf High School, coaching girls soccer, being a class mother for both her daughters, or helping to adopt dogs. If you happen to make it to the Haynes house, you will see where evermore magic happens. Cross over the threshold and make it past the ferocious watchdog, which you will see the kitchen where she makes all kinds of goodies, from cakes, pies, breads, cookies, candies, muffins, brownies, or pastries. Venture further downstairs and you will see her computers, cricket irons, glue guns, reams of colored vinyl, reams of colored paper, rulers, pens, pencils, staplers, various tubes, cloth, and probably more and more items. The number of ideas that Melissa can brainstorm is fantastic. She's either making wreaths, mirrors, centerpieces, holiday decorations, stuffed animals, and so much more. There is also a myriad of shirts and sweatshirts she is making new models for her daughter's soccer teams, the Mermaids and the Strikers. She'll make special presents for special times for her niece, her father, or this or that, or for her brother and Brian. Melissa has also worn a new hat, like many others. She is a feather for teaching first grade and another feather for teaching fourth grade. We do not know where Melissa finds all the time in the day to accomplish all she does. In conclusion, as you can see, whether mothering, aunting, teaching, baking, crafting, volunteering, pet adopting, coaching, chauffeuring, or partying, with Melissa's heart of gold, she's willing to do anything for anyone at any time. If you're lucky enough to know her, then you are lucky enough to have been touched by her generosity or thoughtfulness. Thank you.
With Philippines. The Philippines, please step forward. proud to say this is my godson. Philip is following in his family's footsteps when it comes to helping the community. He has been an important part of fundraising throughout Staten Island for years, in his father and grandfather's footsteps, and he's only 23. But he has always been willing to help those in need from a young age. During the time he was a little kid, he would help out at the Staten Island Irish Fair. The family booth, helping to grab drinks, people when they placed their orders, eventually manning the grill and serving the food. Sorry if you got the burnt hamburgers that was on it yet. He attended New York High School, where he was a key part in the football team for 4 years, and was there. After graduating, he volunteered on the coaching staff, continued to follow his passion, and help coach and mold the incoming freshmen. He's helped in the snack bar, and is always willing to go above and beyond for the boys in the green and gold. Working diligently with his father for the annual car show to help support and fundraise for the football team, gathering trophy sponsors and helping set up and keep in order the day of the event. Always will lend the hand at the poker tournament, candy sales, donut distributions, and any other way he can. He's currently a delivery man for Meals on Wheels, helping to make sure our elderly and veteran neighbors are taken care of. He also works in the dairy department at ShopRite, where he makes wonderful friends and met some interesting customers. Literally, haven't you? He has followed in his grandfather, father, great-grandfather, and his uncle's footsteps in becoming a member of the Ancient Order Hibernians. He is a proud big brother to 2 little sisters, and has enjoyed attending their soccer games and cheering them on. He's an excellent role model for them, as you see all he does helping them out as well. Phil? I'd like to read the bio for this young lady. Christine Haynes was born September 12, 1954, in New York Permanent Hospital. She's the youngest of 6, born to Amina and Stan Klaczynski. Christine attended St. Anthony of Padua School in Greenwich Village for 2 years. She moved to Stapleton, Staten Island in May 1961. That was before the bridge. There's actually a picture of she's holding the bridge like this. She attended Immaculate Conception School and graduated Curtis High School, where she met her husband, James A. Haynes III. They married in 1972. Christina is the mother of Christopher and myself. She's also the proud grandmother of Philip, Lindsay, and Abigail. She's also a fur baby grandmother to Tony and Lily. Oh yes. Christine currently works as a paraprofessional for the Department of Education at PS 55 Eltonville. She has also worked part-time at ShopRite for the last 8 years. She takes pride in helping raise money for the hunger on Staten Island and the Partners in Caring program. This has landed her a spot on the Cheerios box, not once, not twice, 3 times. Christine also enjoys working at various Irish events, especially the Staten Island Irish Fair, where in 2012, she was named the Colleen Queen. You can always tell when my mother is there when you hear those 2 famous words, 50-50, every year. She also enjoys spending functions with her husband and is usually found helping out with the raffle table. She enjoys spending time with her family and going away with her sisters to the casinos, Jersey Shore, Aruba, and every point in between. Mama, congratulations.
We'll not be selling 50-50s today, though.
All right, Mr. Gross. Mr. Gross. I got the floor, huh?
Okay, good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to be with you. I will be brief because I do know I'm the only thing standing between you and lunch. Steve surprises me often, and the opportunity to speak is a surprise. But as everyone knows, when I Watch it. So I just want to briefly acknowledge two of my graduates that are here today. One of the goals at St. Adalbert School was to promote patriotism and awareness of veterans issues. We love our veterans, and one of the important things the kids need to know is these are their role models. These are people they should be looking to emulate. So Matthew and Sarah, who continue to serve at St. Joseph by the Sea High School, who were involved in all of our veterans' affairs, just stand up for a minute so we can acknowledge you. Now, and they are former recipients of the Four Chaplains Award. The story of the Four Chaplains needs to continue, and it needs to be shared with as many people as possible, especially in these days, these times. The vision and the mantra of unity without uniformity is absolutely critical. This will be what brings us forward as a nation. So this year we are honoring two of our students, Joshua Bunch. Come on up, Joshua. Oh, he's up already. We have Juliana Cleary, who is accepting for her sister, and Juliana is fresh off her Sweet 16 last night and looking fabulous. I do want to bring up the fact that Joshua, from the time that he's been with me, a student from St. Adalbert who's joined us in our new adventure at Father Capitano Academy, has always worn his uniform proudly. He has been active with veterans issues. He is an excellent student, and he makes me very proud because he has outstanding manners. So Joshua, we honor you today. Okay, and Juliana is accepting for her sister, Brianna Cleary, who also involved in color guard, greeting the veterans during our many events, which I will give a shameless plug. May 27th, we have a spring concert for our veterans and community members outside of school in the morning, and a grab-and-go lunch to follow. If you don't get your invitation in the mail, make sure you call school. We would love to have you there. But Juliana, you're going to deliver to your sister who's playing travel ball today, because she is an amazing lady athlete too. So congratulations. Thank you again, everybody. And if you have not visited us, I know things have been tough with the pandemic. I cannot have visitors during the day with the kids, but call us up. You will love the school and the beautiful statue of our beloved Father Vincent Capodanno, who will be the next saint to come from the United States. And Father Capodanno, like the Four Chaplains, gave up his life for others. So we will remember him today, we remember them, and I wish you all a wonderful weekend.
Okay, thank you all very much. This is what we do for our people here on Staten Island. We usually have it in February, but with everything with the weathers
thank Father Michael Martin for allowing us to have it here. Next year we'll have it back on the date, hopefully February 3rd, to 2020. Now, the recipients. You're all allowed to nominate 2 people each year from now on, which is a great honor to do for your fellow community people and friends. So in the packets that you got, sorry you didn't get a fancy envelope from they apologize. They didn't have fancy envelopes down there in Philadelphia because of the pandemic, and they're going through a lot down there. In May they're having a gathering down there sometime in May. If you like to go, you'll probably be notified. Now that you're a member, you'll be notified by the chapel, 4 chaplains. The address is on the paper on your application if you want to send any, talk to them. Great people down there. Michelle, Christine, what's the other guy? He's never there. Bill. Okay. Thank you very much for coming. Please rise. What do you want to shut up the reading? Okay, yes.